In today's video, we're going to talk about the Seth Godin quote, "He who fails the most wins," and why, as a sponsorship seeker, this is such powerful advice. Check it out. All right, before we talk about the importance of failure and why it's our best teacher in sponsorship sales, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get updates every week when we release a new video. The idea for this video came from a conversation that I had with a past client of ours named Bradley. Bradley had sent out a few hundred emails, heard nothing back, and basically gave up on his sponsorship program. He just stopped trying because it was so demoralizing that he wasn't hearing back. And so he and I had a conversation, and the reason that he wasn't hearing back was because he had ended up on a spam filter. He interpreted the lack of response from potential sponsors as lack of interest, and as a result, he internalized that failure. And the result was catastrophic. It had a significantly negative result on his sponsorship program. And that caused me to reflect on the experience of failure and rejection, and how important it is in sponsorship, and indeed all sales, that when we fail, when something is not working, the goal is to reflect, is to analyze, is to try a new path, and let that failure teach us, versus trying something that doesn't work and then just trying more of it as the solution. In other words, if you're sending out sponsorship packages and no sponsors are interested, sending 1,000 sponsorship packages will just create 1,000 uninterested sponsors. Sponsorship is a lot like skiing. It's counterintuitive. When you're skiing down a hill or a mountain, your natural tendency is to lean back. You feel like you're going too fast, but when you lean back, you lose control. You can't brake, you can't steer, and oddly, you start moving faster. In skiing, as you're going down the hill or the mountain, if you want to be in full control, you actually have to lean forward. You actually have to lean into where you're going. It's scary, you feel out of control, and then all of a sudden everything clicks. The same is true in sponsorship. What is that thing that we have to lean into? Our failures. If something's not working, avoiding it, pretending that if you just keep doing it, it will work, will result in no sponsors. Instead, we have to lean into the failure, lean into the fear, and let it drive us, let it motivate us. So I heard this interview with Seth Godin where he said, "He who fails the most wins." He also said, "The person with the biggest discard pile wins." In other words, the novelist that gets published is the one who has thousands of manuscripts that were unsuccessful, but each unsuccessful manuscript taught that writer a lesson, what to do, how to change their craft, how to be a better writer. So if we look at the story of Bradley, when he sent out 10 emails and heard nothing back, that should have been a signal for him to test. Then he sent out 50 emails and heard nothing back. He should have tested. Instead, he scaled up mediocrity and got bigger piles of mediocrity, according to Keith Cunningham. If your open rate on 10 emails is 1%, your open rate on 100 emails is going to be 1%. When you're looking at your sponsorship program, if your prospects are not replying to your emails, there's a problem with your subject line. Maybe you're getting caught in spam and you need to try a new email address. Maybe you're sending too much sales material. Maybe your copy is too salesy. Maybe your copy isn't compelling enough. Maybe your audience data isn't clear enough. Or maybe your prospect research is off and you're looking at the wrong prospects. Every time you hear no, every time you are ignored by a sponsor or a prospect, this is an opportunity to step back and reflect on what you need to change. Shout out to longtime friend and colleague Joel Shields, who said, if he reaches out to somebody and doesn't hear back, he changes his tactic. He never uses the same approach twice with a potential sponsor. The right approach, the best approach, is to test your sponsorship program at a smaller level, like we do inside the Sponsorship Accelerator. Once you've connected with and onboarded 3 to 5 sponsors, then you can scale up, because you know you have a working system, you know you have the right ingredients, and you know you can actually service and retain your sponsors. I think that what Bradley experienced is really common, and we all experience it. We only want to experience the wins. We don't want the failures. Failure is uncomfortable. The problem is we have no idea which prospects, which proposals, which emails are going to be successful. are going to win, are going to come through until after the fact, which means that we have to approach every prospect like they're $1 million prospect. And if something we're doing isn't working, it's okay to be frustrated, but don't let that frustration derail you. Don't lean back on the skis. Lean forward, look at your data, change some variables, and test. And if you want a behind the scenes look at how to create a sponsorship program, then check out the link in the comments below for my free training all about best practice sponsorship.